Hello everyone, this is Noel Ramos, Florida Green Man. I'm here in my yard in North Fort Lauderdale, about 4 miles from the beach. And this is an area, zone 10A, we're probably the coldest we've seen in the last 5 years. It's been about 45 degrees, and that's usually for a couple nights a year. And I want to take you around my yard. Here's a Clusia plant, which is all, these are not fruit trees, of course. Then over here I've got a variety of, in pots, I've got Amorphophallus, I've got coffee, I've got rocoto, ají peppers from Brazil, from Peru. I have got culantro from the Caribbean. I've got a flowering savila or aloe. And as we go through the yard, I'm sorry for the finger, you'll see I've got a big Abiu tree. It's probably 20 feet tall and 12 feet around. Has not only produced a few fruits. Pretty disappointing. I've got more aloe here. As we go through, I've got in a big pot, I've got a sweet tart mango. I've got a Silas wood Sapodilla. And this little tree, it's in a 15-gallon pot, and it probably has 8 or 9 fruit on it already, as you can see. And I already harvested fruit from it. Very prolific tree. I've got a huge Achachairu in a pot. I've got a pitangatuba, which is already fruited. I've got a large Marissa Abiu in a pot, but it's already in the ground. But that way the tree stays dwarfed, and it's got fruit on it. I've got them in the little cages that I put the little plastic strawberry containers to protect the fruit from all kinds of critters. You see, but that's the way that I keep it protected, and you'll see more mangoes that way. I also got here Barringtonia edulis, which is the Fiji nut. It's an edible nut from the Fiji Islands. A beautiful tree. I've got here the orange sherbet mango, one of the ZIL really incredible varieties. Got a big papaya tree, which this one hasn't fruited yet. This is my potted, semi-potted lemon zest, which is probably my favorite mango of all. This little tree produced about 30 fruit this year. Amazing taste. One of the better ones for sure that are out there. See, there's one left, and I also have it in little plastic enclosures. These are the ones that you can buy in a grocery store. When you buy grapes or strawberries, and I reuse them on my mangoes. I've got a Bukiwi Longan in a 15-gallon pot, and as you can see, it's got a fair amount of fruit for a little tiny tree, which I'm pretty happy at least I'll get. These are really my favorite Longan. I've got a big dwarf Cavendish banana, which regularly produces this. These are just, they love this spot, and they just grow fantastic, and they produce big bunches every year. Then I have got here my Duncan mango, my big Duncan. It's not a huge tree, and it does well in stores and everything. And regularly, every year produces probably 200 plus pounds of mangoes, if not more, every year. And this year, we're at the end of the harvest. You don't see as many, but you see here, I have them in, once again, the plastic enclosures that keep them away from the squirrels and the birds. But the squirrels probably take, I'd say, 25% of my crop, even with the boxes. They're awful. What can I tell you? But you can see there's mangoes here. Here's a small one. They're usually a couple pounds. A lot of them. These are 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds, some of them. And we walk through. I've got a Langsat tree, potted Langsat tree. I've got a little cacao grove here going. I've got 3 or 4 cacaos, and they do produce cacao. And I'll show you right now. It's flowering pretty heavily, and it has cacao fruit on it. And it's set a few more small ones, and actually grows pretty crazy here, and the cold doesn't affect it. Like I said, we haven't gotten any cold for several years here, at least 5 years that I've been in the property here. And I've got several varieties of orchids. As you go through, I've got a durian tree, a smaller durian tree. I've got more cacao. These are planted in the ground. I've got this one here is a lalijiwa mangifera, and that one's in a big pot. And here I've got another Achachairu. I've got a big Schomburgkia orchid. This is native to Central America. Produces little orchids, as you see up here. And you can get an idea of some of the mangoes that are on this tree. I do lose a lot to split. They end up splitting also because of the rain. And here is one of my prize trees from the ground up. This is a big durian tree in a pot, in a 20-gallon pot. It's probably 7.5 feet tall. It's got a decent trunk on it, as you can see. And it's a seedling. I mean, it'll be likely will never fruit here. In fact, nobody really has fruited a durian here, but I have it kind of as a specimen tree. And if you go through, I've got here a couple of, I've got Amorphophallus panifolius, I've got old man palms, and I've got a nice jackfruit coming up. This is a variety called Banana Cream that I got budwood from the Breadfruit Council Miami. I've got Breadfruit in a pot. I've got Liquala palm. I've got another Croton, one of those low leafed ones, and this is what I call my refugio Boricua, or my Boricua refuge. Boricua is a nickname for the people of Puerto Rico. And we'll walk through more of the yard, and I'll show you some of the other stuff I have here. I've got some more dwarf Cavendish in pots. I've got more Abius. These are Marissa Abius in big pots, doing really good. Some of these trees have already flowered. And I've got Mamey Americana. It's a grafted variety from El Salvador, one of the select varieties there. This one had fruited last year, flowered last year, not fruited. It's in a 25-gallon pot and doing amazingly well. And I'm hoping to try to get a fruit in the pot. Walk through here and you'll see more of the mangoes. These are the Duncan. Take a look at how many. And this is at the end of the season when probably there's a third of the fruit left that was on this tree, but it's substantial still, and it has really produced, and it's a really good fruit. The early fruits tend to be a little washed out in the beginning, the first month, and after that they're really good quality fruits. Although we have the tree right on the power line. And here you see Mangifera odorata, the durian mango. And here I have another banana cream jackfruit, 15-gallon pot. I've got another big Marissa Abiu seedling, which is also flowered. And here I have a Excalibur red jackfruit in a pot. I've got a Talpeño avocado from, I think, El Salvador. I got this from a friend. I know it's a Central America variety, hasn't fruited yet, but it should be soon. I've got a papaya variety from Puerto Rico. Haven't tasted this one yet, so I'm not sure how good it is, but we'll let you know. And as we walk through here, I'll show you. This is a Lux Garcinia. This is from Mexico. The variety is highly touted, but I haven't seen. I have tasted the fruit, and it was decent, but this one hasn't fruited yet, but it has flowered. I have got a decent-sized miracle fruit. Walk over to see my shed with all my pots. I've got a big breadfruit, Artocarpus, which I'm hoping will produce fruit here. This one's planted in the ground. Walk through this way. I've got goji berries, and it's got some little fruits on it. They're kind of disappointing to taste. It tastes like a sour tomato. I've got Bunchosia. I've got more Amorphophallus. I've got another papaya. I've got a Macaque Sapodilla. And I've got a sugar apple. This variety, I have not had great luck here with sugar apple. It does have one small fruit, but compared to my other property where I used to have a little much more. And then on my fence here, I've got a little trellis of Alice White dragon fruit variety that was sent to me from California. One of my favorites. Is pretty good fruit. Produces lots here, and you can see I have them on my fence. And here we have my multi-grafted mango, which has coconut cream, lemon meringue, sweet tart, sunrise, and think that I miss anything else. I think that's it. But this thing produces, I need to cut it back quite a bit, and it produces lots, probably a good 100 fruits this year of 4 different varieties. And it's the way to go if you have small space. I don't have a lot of space here on this property. It's probably 1/5 of an acre, and I probably produce this year 400 pounds of fruit from this property, mostly mangoes, but I also get papayas and other stuff. But generally here in South Florida, on a 1/2 acre, you should get 1,000 pounds of fruit, at least. Different mangoes, and if you plant jackfruit, it's I used to have a 1/4 acre in Coral Springs that generally produced 600-700 pounds a year, if not more. And you can see I have all kinds of stuff. I got some ornamentals. I've got coconut palm in a pot, which I got to do something with here eventually. I've got another big Schomburgkia. And as we go into my screen porch here, you can see the typical that I've had. This is what I picked this morning. And I picked about this amount of mangoes every day since mid-April. And we're in mid-June. And hope you like my tour. Thank you.